Hi Brenda, welcome.
Hi Ashley.
So I wanted to just give you a welcome into our office today. I don't know if you've been here before.
I've stopped by to pick some stuff up before.
Okay, so you found our building okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. So before we get started today, I just wanted to give you a little kind of play out of our confidentiality policy. And everything we talk about today will stay between you and I.
Okay.
There are some exceptions to that. If you are harming yourself, or there's a risk of harming yourself, harming someone else, or you have harmed someone else, or if you have been harmed yourself, as well as if there's any child abuse mentioned, then we would have to notify someone about that.
Okay.
Is this okay with you?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So I have learned a little bit about why you wanted to come in today, but could you fill me in on what brings you in?
Well, I'm attending school and I'm working part-time, and I'm just finding things a little overwhelming, and I've been struggling a lot with school, and I've been having a lot of headaches and I don't know, just being really nervous and worked up, worrying.
So it sounds like school's kind of become overwhelming for you, and as a result you're getting some physical symptoms of that with headaches and worrying. Yeah.
It's a lot to juggle, school and work.
I bet it is. Yeah. So these feelings of worry and of just feeling overwhelmed, has this happened to you before?
Once or twice. I think it's just worse now being in school and the workload. I noticed it more.
Right. Okay. So what can you tell me about school? What are you taking?
I am taking early childhood studies.
Okay. So you're wanting to work with children in the future?
Yeah, I'd like to work in a daycare or run a preschool, maybe. I haven't decided.
Right. So is there a particular situation at school or at work that you find that you're most getting the headaches during, or that you feel most worried about?
Well, I have to travel an hour for school, and then there's a girl in the class as well who I don't really get along with, so that's another, I guess, trigger, if you call it that. Another reason why things are getting rough for me, and then just it's like project after project and test after test, and it's a lot different than being in high school, and you can slack off then.
Right. So it sounds like you have a lot going on between tests and traveling even for school, and then having to maybe deal with someone that isn't a positive influence for you. Yeah. So when this has happened to you in the past, have you been able to kind of get through it, and how have you gotten through it?
When it comes to somebody that I don't get along with, I just kind of try and ignore them, but I just have a hard time. Her personality maybe comes across a little bit too harsh sometimes, so it's hard to ignore. And then for school and stuff, in high school you don't really worry about your marks and stuff, but when you're in college you're paying for it, so it kind of has a different meaning. So I guess I'm having a hard time with time management.
So you mentioned that when you're paying for school, it kind of has a different meaning for you. Can you share with me a little bit more about what that meaning might look like compared to not paying for school?
I guess I just have a sense of failure, and like I've wasted money if I don't get good marks.
So failure, what does failure look like to you?
Just disappointment from like my mom, or disappointment from the teacher, disappointment from myself, really, because you need good marks, and you want to pass your course so you can get a job, right?
Right.
So I guess maybe a little bit of getting angry with myself, being embarrassed that I'm not doing a good job because I like to achieve things, and I just like to do good at what, like I'm a perfectionist, I guess.
Right. So it sounds like you value that achievement and maybe impressing other people with what you've achieved.
Yeah.
Can you tell me more about what you've achieved in the past or what you've achieved lately?
Well, I think, I get the highest mark on the test in class last week.
Mm-hmm.
So that was awesome. And on my practicum, the teachers who were supervising, or the staff who were supervising, actually said that I do a really good job and that, this is something that I'm meant to do. So it's nice to hear like positive words like that from somebody who's your supervisor.
Right. So can we focus for a minute on that, what you just said, and kind of that your supervisors have told you that you're doing a good job. So what does that mean to you to hear that from a supervisor, from someone that's in that role?
Well, it boosts my confidence. I guess I don't worry as much when it comes from somebody in that position telling me that I'm doing a good job. It's nice to hear, because I find that I'm too hard on myself, so it's nice to hear that other people think positive things, and they know that I can do it. It's just that I'm too hard on myself and think that I can't.
And I've definitely been hard on myself in the past too. Becoming a psychologist is a tough road sometimes. Have you ever felt, that you're not gonna get through things?
Yeah, I feel that way sometimes. It's hard because you just see what's in the moment and you don't, everything. You have so many tests or so many assignments, and then you just, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet. And I'm a person that needs to see like the product, the finished product, right?
Mm-hmm. So to you, what is a finished product? Can you tell me a little bit more about that and what that looks like?
Graduation day.
Graduation day. Yeah.
Hopefully graduating with honors.
With honors? Okay. Very cool. And, what I'm hearing you tell me is that you value that education.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you think that your value of that education kind of ties into the worry that you've been feeling and the headaches you've been getting and just this stress level you've been having?
Maybe I'm not being positive, and maybe I'm just putting too much pressure on myself to do a good job when, I know that I can do the good job. I just worry about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And sometimes these worries that we feel about things that we really value are what I like to call automatic thoughts. And sometimes they just come to us and we can't really stop them. And we can make a big deal out of little things like failing one test or maybe not doing so good on something. And we kind of devalue the things that are going well, like having the highest mark in your class. And you mentioned that some instructors or supervisors were giving you good feedback.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about this? Do you think that this is something that you might be doing?
Yeah, I think so. I think I focus on having the highest marks in the class, but really, I guess I don't really need to have the highest marks. I just need to be good at what I do, right? Be good with talking with kids and interacting with kids. And I guess there's no way to mark that.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're beginning to understand and value those little pieces of positive that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think that those little pieces are things that you've done in the past to look at that have helped you get through some stressful times?
I think so. Maybe it's just schoolwork's a big deal. It's hard and it kind of takes precedent over everything else. And there's been situations where I've gotten through and been like, oh, that's not so hard, and you know, I think, like I said, I think I just am too hard on myself when it comes to school, and then I just get so worked up and maybe have a little bit of anxiety for tests and stuff, and then I end up doing fine.
So do you think, or what do you think your anxiety level in the last week has been from 1 to a 10? And a 1 is pretty low and a 10 is extremely high.
I've had a lot of stuff to do with school, so probably like 6 or 7. Yeah.
So where do you think, or what do you think that you can do even in the next week to maybe get yourself down to even a 6.5 or 6, just 1 point below?
Probably be better organized and take some time for myself. Nice bubble bath might help out with the anxiety and calm myself, like be able to calm me down.
Absolutely. And some of those relaxation techniques, like taking a bubble bath or just taking a little bit of time for yourself, can really help just to, you know, temporarily lower that stress level so that you can focus more on what you need to do or getting more organized.
Yeah.
So do you think that for today I can maybe send you home with a little piece of homework?
Sure.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do for the next time that I see you, if you choose to come and see me again, is just to come up with maybe a to-do list of what you need to stay organized or to get organized. And then just even take 10 minutes for yourself tonight and do something that you think can lower that stress level. Do you think this is something that you can do?
I think so.
You think so? Cool. So before we end today, I'd just like to wrap up and ask you how you felt about our session today.
I think it was good. It helped me realize that I'm putting so much pressure on myself, and whereas the teachers already think that I'm doing a good job, so it's just about pleasing myself, I guess, and you know, I'm already doing the pleasing of others, so I need to just not worry about it. And everything always works out for me in the end. But
Right. Awesome. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you again. And if you have any questions in between now and whenever you set up a next appointment, just call me and let me know, and I can hopefully answer some of those questions for you.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
in.